Hello, this is Joe the Halo Junkie coming to you with just my second YouTube video. I wanted to post my gaming setup. People seem to enjoy watching those on YouTube, and I know I enjoy watching them. Matter of fact, most of the videos I watch are either related to Halo tips because I'm not near as good as I want to be and I like to improve that area, or gaming or desk setups, because I'm always curious what other people have. I'm always looking for the next thing I might want. You know, I'm always chasing that holy grail on having the perfect equipment, at least the perfect equipment for within my budget. So I'm going to go over a few of the things that I have here, and I hope that you will hit the like button on this video and also subscribe. I intend to add to this system on an ongoing basis because I enjoy tech. I mean, tech is my favorite thing, pretty much. I mean, I've had tons of PCs. I'm not an Apple fanboy. I'm not a PC fanboy. I'm not an Android fanboy. I've had so many different types of different brands and technologies that I've had good experiences with most of the major brands, and I've also had bad experiences with most of the major brands. So I'm definitely not a fanboy. This just represents my current setup, and this is not all of what I have. This is just my desktop setup. So I guess I will start from the left, and I will start with my chair. My chair is a Tempur-Pedic brand chair, and it basically has the memory foam in it. And it's extremely comfortable. It's the most comfortable chair that I've ever purchased. It was, I believe, around $300, I'm not sure, which makes it very expensive compared to some desk chairs and very inexpensive compared to others. But it is extremely comfortable, and I'm really glad that I purchased it. I think it was a very good purchase. On the desk, I have a Sabertooth controller box, and I ordered this about a month or so ago, and when I ordered it I was waiting for my second Scuf brand controller. Scuf is a controller, basically a custom controller where they take an Xbox controller and they add 2 or 4 buttons to the back of it, which you can remap your A, B, X and Y buttons to those buttons on the back, so you don't have to move your fingers off of the D-pad in order to jump or change weapons or sprint. You know what? You can map the buttons on the back to what you want, but they have to be mapped from the factory. And Scuf is a very good controller, but their customer service is not the best, and their delivery times are not the best. I was quoted 10 days, and I got my controller like 27 days later with a note saying that I was going to receive a free gift, you know, and in the box, after I had sent them a thing saying my controller wasn't there, and there was no free gift in the box, which, you know, I'm not saying that makes Scuf controllers bad. They're excellent controllers, but I don't think their customer service is the best, but I do think that they're probably the best controllers you can buy. But while I was waiting for that Scuf controller, I ordered this Sabertooth, this Razer Sabertooth. And so I got it, and by the time I got it, the Sabertooth, because it was on back order, I'd gotten used to the Scuf, and I love the Scuf controller, and I don't want to learn something else. So I have this Sabertooth controller that's basically brand new. It has been out of the box. It's been plugged up for, you know, maybe 10 minutes or so. Anyway, I plan to give this away in a drawing to YouTube subscribers once I have enough YouTube subscribers to warrant that. Right now I got like 2. So if you'd like to be in an drawing for this, you know, please subscribe to my channel and hit the like button, and maybe you'll be able to be in a future drawing on that. So that's the Sabertooth controller. It's a remappable controller. It's got like 6 buttons, and you can remap them to whatever you want. And I think if you got used to it, I think you'd love it. I think if I got used to it, I'd love it, but I've already gotten used to the Scuf controller. Beside it, I have 3 Xbox games, and just so that I can basically stay back here and control the camera. I'm just going to tell you what they are. I have Halo 4, I have Halo 3, and I have Halo Reach. And I have played Halo 1 and Halo 2. I've been a Halo player since the very beginning. I had a couple-year hiatus and then came back to Halo 4. And I had skipped Reach, and here recently I got a little bit burnt out on Halo 4 because I just wasn't playing good that day, and so I didn't want to mess up my controller memory by going to play a different game, so I went and bought Halo Reach used, and it was like $13 at GameStop, so it was a pretty good deal. You see a tissue box for when you got to blow your nose or whatever. It's just there handy. Behind that, you can't really see it too well, but it's actually a couple of toolboxes, just cheap toolboxes that have the the really small bits in them. So you just occasionally need that kind of thing. So I have it there handy. My Samsung monitor there is not the best monitor. It's actually probably about 6 or 7 years old, and it's thick. It's probably a good 2.5 inches thick, which is was thin by then standard, but is thick by today's standard. But it functions as a TV and a monitor, and so at the time that was what I felt like I wanted, and it does all right. I don't play any games on it. It's just basically a secondary monitor, and I really like having a secondary monitor for my computer, and that's what I use that for. So the monitor wasn't high enough, and so I actually used a Halo game guide, which is hardbound, and a Corvette book that I had, in order to raise the height up a little bit so that it closer matched my primary computer. The cloth you see there is just a screen cleaning cloth, like for sunglasses, and you have black screens, and they get smudges on them or whatever from touching them to readjust them. So that's what that's there for. Back there behind that, you just see a little. It's a 3M. Cable management clasp thing. I really like them. I don't have a cable going through it right now, but that's what that's for there, to catch a cable that I might have. That monitor, by the way, if you're curious, is 22 inches. And like I said, it's not the best monitor, but it functions for what I need it to. Okay, so beside it, of course, looking huge compared to that 22-inch monitor, is the 27-inch iMac, and I just bought this recently. I bought it mostly just because I wanted something for editing YouTube videos, and it's complete overkill, but when I buy something, I like to go ahead and get something better if I can afford it. And so it's the 27-inch iMac, and it's got the i7 processor, and I ordered it with 8 gigabytes of RAM, but I've already added 8 additional gigabytes of RAM to it, so it's got 16 gigabytes of RAM. It's got the 2 gigabytes of RAM on the memory card, which was an upgrade, and it really meets or exceeds my expectations. I really like it. What you see below it is, let me zoom in here. What you see below it is actually some rock climbing tape, and the reason I have it is because I play so much sometimes that my fingers get sore, and I find that taping up my knuckles on the joints that I'm using too much, I mean that's how much I play Halo sometimes, I might play for hours at a time, actually provides a little bit of comfort. So maybe I should probably just take a break from playing the Halo, and that would probably solve that problem, but instead I use the tape, and I got the tape from REI equipment is where I bought that from. So if you ever need some good tape for taping up your fingers because you play so much, you can get that there. Below that is just the standard wireless mouse for the that came with the iMac, but you probably notice it doesn't look standard because you see a trackpad right there beside it, and those are actually connected. I purchased an item called the Magic Wand. I can't remember how much it was. I think it was $30 or $40. Basically, it connects those two things together and makes it rigid, so you can easily browse web pages and do whatever you need to do with it sitting in your lap, which would be difficult to do with a trackpad by itself with the size that it is. Behind that, if you can see, I got a cable that's just bound up. I think that's going from my game capture card, and then beyond that you see a little controller. That's actually a controller for, I have LED lighting behind my computer, and I got that from IKEA. I think it was just about $40. It's really cool. It's worth the money, and playing with it with the lights off, having the lights behind the monitor actually seems to fatigue my eyes less, and so that's why I have that. So right beside that I have some gamer grip, which is basically like deodorant for your hands. I mean, basically what it does is it keeps your hands from sweating, and you know, so your hands stick to the controller better. And you know, I don't use it very often. I got it just because Scuf Gaming sells them, and I ordered it at the same time I got my Scuf controller, and it was like $10. And I can't say really if it's worth it or not. It does help, and I just use it on those particular times where I feel like that I need it. It's just a cream. It goes on your hand. It's kind of like a lotion, but it makes your hands a little bit gritty, and they stick to the controller better. Beside that, you just see a tube of a screen cleaner. I don't remember where I got it. You see the Magic Mouse, which is a fantastic mouse. And then laying back there behind that, I have a couple of items. One item I have is the Elgato game capture card, and that plugs in really easily. I can't remember how much I paid for it, maybe about $160 on Amazon, but it's really great, and I really like it. I would highly recommend it. So okay, so beside that I have the Astro Mix Amp, and I was using Turtle Beach headsets, which I really like. I highly recommend them, but I upgraded, and it was costly to do so, but I upgraded to Sennheiser 360 headphones, and they really are better, and I highly recommend them, but only if you really feel like you can afford them, because if you can't, the Turtle Beaches are fine. These don't really give you that much of an advantage. They just sound a little more natural and better, and you know, for hearing footsteps and stuff, people sneaking up behind you in Halo 4, which is my game of choice, I like it. They're resting on a Sennheiser headphone rack that was like $25 on Amazon, but it was completely worth it. It's padded, and it gives me a good place to put my headsets, and I like that. So so I'm gonna back out. So you see the monitor beside the iMac, and that is actually the BenQ. I'm not sure the model number offhand, but it's the BenQ that was the official MLG monitor before they switched to using ASUS. And so it's got a gamer setup profile in it already that was like set up by Halo 4 players, and so that's really nice. I really like that. So below that, I try to have my cables somewhat managed, and they were managed better, but I had to change my power supply and my UPS power supply, and so I rearranged my cables, and not quite as nice as it was. But basically, those are just storage boxes from Target. They have extra controllers, wires, and stuff that I don't use, and then I have all my wires feeding into one of them and then coming into this CyberPower UPS, uninterrupted power source. And I really recommend that, because if you're playing Halo during a lightning storm and your power goes off for a split second, you are going to, you know, you're out of the game. But if you have that, you might not be, especially if you have your router backed up also. So right beside that, you have the older version of the Xbox 360. It was the Halo 3 edition. And beside that, I have a Pelican case that was for the case for this camera. This camera deserves its whole own YouTube description and everything, so I might do that again later. Sitting on the floor, it doesn't usually sit there, but just for this video, and it's set on padding, I have my Scuf controller. I love my Scuf controller. They don't look exactly like that normally coming from the factory, but I have an extra grip put on it, which really helps hand comfort a lot. And then I also have the I forget what they're called, but the extensions added to it to make the thumbsticks a little longer, and they really help. So I use wire because less latency. It's all going up and through the cables to mix amp and everything. Underneath that, I have an iPad mini, I have a Galaxy Note 2 and a Galaxy S3, and then I have MacBook Air that I bought. That's the 13-inch. It's the one with the i7 processor. That's not been the best computer. It doesn't keep the Wi-Fi connection whenever it goes into sleep mode and comes out. So I can't say Apple always makes perfect products, because that is not one. I have the 11-inch version of it, and it's the cheap 11-inch version of it, and it's way better than that 13-inch version. So that 13-inch version wasn't the best buy for me. I mean, I kind of got ripped off a little bit by Apple on that, but I didn't notice the problems until I had it too long to return it. And you know, it's not a bad laptop, but that Wi-Fi issue is kind of a pain in the butt. So I'm going to end the video on that note. If you like the video, if you leave comments, if you have questions, maybe I'll produce more of these videos if you'd like to see them. So please let me know. Again, this is Joe the Halo Junkie coming to you from the great state of Texas, and I hope that you again will subscribe and like the video and post comments. Thank you. Bye.